Nioh 3rd drops in a couple of days. And I already know most of you can't justify dropping $70 on a day one purchase. If you're craving that hardcore, technical, deeply satisfying combat experience that Nioh delivers, you've got options. Proper good options that have been sitting there waiting for you, often at a fraction of the price. Of course, we're starting with Nioh 1 and Nioh 2. If you want the definition of deep combat system, just stop right now. You found it. Team Ninja didn't just create games with Nioh 1 and 2. They built a bloody digital fencing academy. This isn't your standard action game where you mash buttons and hope for the best. This is a combat system that demands understanding, practice, and genuine mastery. The stance system alone is brilliance. High, mid, low. Each stance completely changes how your weapon behaves. High stance for maximum damage and breaking enemy guards. Mid for balanced offense and defense. Low for speed and stamina efficiency. And you're expected to swap between them mid-combat, fluidly, constantly adapting to what the situation demands. Your stamina in Nioh isn't just a resource that regenerates passively. You have to actively recover it by timing a button press at the exact moment your attacks finish. Get it right and you recover stamina instantly, keeping your offensive pressure constant. Get it wrong and you're standing there vulnerable while your bar slowly refills and enemies are already mid-swing at your face. It's a rhythm game hidden inside an action RPG, and the first time it clicks, that's when Nioh transforms from obstacle into extension of your reflexes. The progression is almost physical. Your hands learn the timing. Your brain internalizes the patterns. You don't just level up your character, you level up yourself as a player. Nioh 2 perfects everything with yokai abilities. Burst counters that let you interrupt enemy attacks with perfect timing. Soul cores that give you demonic powers. Expanded weapon movesets. More build variety. More customization. More depth layered on top of an already deep foundation. Both games are absolutely essential for anyone who wants an experience that rewards technical mastery above everything else. The loot system is brilliant. Builds actually matter. You can spend hours theory crafting the perfect combination of stats, set bonuses, and abilities. Lies of P blindsided everyone. Properly came out of nowhere and proved that passion can compete with pedigree. Neowise wasn't a studio anyone expected to deliver a top-tier Souls-like, but they showed up with an iron artistic vision and a maniacal love for impact feedback, and they created something genuinely special. Lies of P is set in a twisted, Belle Epoque-inspired city where the Pinocchio story has gone properly dark. Puppets have gone rogue. The streets are filled with mechanical horrors. And you're P, a puppet trying to become human while everything around you wants you dead. The atmosphere is incredible. But the real gem here is the weapon assembly system. You can disassemble weapons into blade and handle components, then mix and match them to create the perfect tool for your playstyle. Fast blade on a heavy handle for big wind-up attacks. Heavy blade on a quick handle for surprising damage from fast strikes. The combinations are extensive and genuinely impact how combat feels. This isn't just cosmetic. Different blades have different movesets, different scaling, different special abilities. Handles affect speed, range, stamina consumption. The combat itself is brutal, precise, unforgiving, but it gives you all the tools you need to succeed. Perfect guard timing lets you deflect attacks and open enemies for massive damage. The puppet arm acts as a secondary weapon with unique abilities. Build variety is impressive. I love Lies of P because it doesn't compromise. It challenges you, punishes mistakes, but rewards creativity and mastery. It's proof that originality can emerge even when reinterpreting established formulas. The first Berserker, Kazan, is raw, unfiltered kinetic violence, and I mean that as the highest possible compliment. Kazan takes the concept of weight in combat and elevates it to an art form. This isn't your standard light action game where enemies are damage sponges that barely react to your attacks. Every single hit matters here. Every impact is felt. When you swing your weapon, there's genuine heft behind it. Enemies stagger, they react, they get launched, and when they hit you back, you feel it. This is combat as collision. Fights aren't just about depleting health bars. they're clashes between forces. The cel-shaded art direction isn't just an aesthetic choice, it serves a functional purpose. In a game this fast and brutal, visual clarity is essential. You need to read enemy animations instantly, track multiple threats, react to attacks mid-combo. The bold outlines and high-contrast color palette make that possible even in the most chaotic encounters. The story follows a betrayed warrior seeking revenge. Standard setup, but the execution elevates it. The narrative is tight, focused, personal. No open-world bloat, no endless side quests that dilute the main story. Just a linear progression of escalating encounters and character development that actually matters. You should play this because it's an experience that respects your time. It doesn't waste a single moment. Every fight is meticulously designed. Every boss is a genuine test. And when you land that final blow after a brutal battle, you feel every gram of the weapon in your hands. Devil May Cry 5 is the absolute pinnacle of the character action genre here. The definitive experience. Capcom created the ultimate playground for people who want to express themselves through stylish violence. And I don't mean that ironically. DMC5 is a game about performance, about creativity in combat, about pushing yourself beyond just winning to winning with flair. The style rank system is the heart of it all. You're not just fighting to survive, you're fighting to look good doing it. Mixing up your attacks, varying your combos, using different weapons, taunting enemies, all while dodging incoming attacks with frame-perfect timing. Do it well, and the game literally scores your performance in real time. S rank, smoking sexy style. That's the goal, and achieving it consistently requires genuine mastery. 3 playable characters, each with radically different gameplay styles. Nioh with his Devil Breaker arms that provide unique abilities and can be destroyed if you're not careful. Dante with an absurd arsenal of weapons and 4 combat styles he can swap between mid-combo. V who controls 3 demons while staying out of direct combat himself. Each character could carry their own game. Together, they create an experience with incredible variety and replay value. The RE engine makes everything look gorgeous while maintaining the buttery smooth 60 FPS that's absolutely essential for this type of game. Every combo flows like silk. Hit feedback is perfect. Animation canceling lets skilled players create strings that look impossible. In Rise of the Ronin, Team Ninja decided to leave their comfort zone of tightly designed linear levels and build an open world. And somehow, it works. Rise of the Ronin is set during the Bakumatsu period, the final years of the samurai era. Japan is caught between tradition and modernization. Western influence is spreading. The old ways are dying. And you're a masterless samurai caught in the middle of it all, forced to choose which side of history you'll stand on. But this is still Team Ninja. The world might be open, but the combat remains deeply technical. Duels require concentration and study. You need to learn enemy patterns. Recognize attack tells. Time your parries. Manage your stamina. It's not simplified for accessibility. The difficulty is still there, but it's balanced against the freedom of exploration in a way that actually works. You can spend hours just wandering the countryside, taking in the beauty of a nation in transition. Then stumble into a duel that demands your complete attention and punishes any lack of focus. The historical setting is handled with genuine respect. This isn't just samurai aesthetic slapped onto generic open-world design. The story engages with real historical figures and events. The philosophical conflict between preservation and progress is explored meaningfully. If the previous Ninja Gaiden games were difficult, Ninja Gaiden 4 is a declaration of war on your reflexes. The series comes back with a fluidity that redefines modern action game standards. This isn't about deliberate, measured combat. This is speed. Pure, unrelenting speed. Enemies don't wait their turn. They swarm. They coordinate. They come at you from all angles simultaneously with attacks designed to punish hesitation. You don't get to be reactive in Ninja Gaiden 4. You have to be proactive, aggressive, constantly on the offensive because standing still means death. The combo system is a dance of death. Chaining attacks, canceling animations, launching enemies, juggling them mid-air, landing, immediately engaging the next threat. all while managing your resources, watching for environmental hazards, and tracking projectiles. People play this for that pure adrenaline rush that only Ninja Gaiden delivers. That feeling of being outnumbered and outgunned, but somehow surviving through skill alone. Of clearing a room that seemed impossible on your first attempt after learning the patterns and executing perfectly. The game makes no apologies for its difficulty. It knows the satisfaction of overcoming seemingly impossible odds is the greatest reward it can offer. And it's right. This is the essence of ninja action distilled into a next-gen experience. Fast, brutal, technical, and absolutely uncompromising. Fury eliminates all the fat, all the filler, all the unnecessary bits between you and what really matters. The fight. This is a pure boss rush, one-on-one duels from start to finish. No trash mobs, no downtime. Just you versus a series of increasingly challenging opponents in a neon-soaked fever dream set to an absolutely incredible synthwave soundtrack. The combat mixes bullet hell and melee action in ways that shouldn't work but absolutely do. You're dodging intricate projectile patterns while looking for openings to close distance and unleash melee combos. Then the boss adapts and you're back to ranged combat. Then it shifts again. Every boss is a puzzle to solve with your reflexes. Pattern recognition is essential. But so is improvisation. You need to learn the phases, understand the tells. But you also need to react to variations and adapt on the fly. Why play this? Because it's pure design. Nothing is wasted. Every element serves the core experience. The soundtrack pumps adrenaline directly into your veins. The visual style is striking and functional. The difficulty curve is perfectly tuned. There are no useless levels to traverse, no grinding, no padding. Just you and your opponent in a hypnotic, merciless dance that demands absolute concentration. This is the indie game that teaches AAA studios how to create tension and style with focused vision and limited resources. It's proof that you don't need sprawling content to create something memorable. Sometimes the best experience is the one that respects your time by giving you exactly what you came for and nothing else. Take Sekiro's rhythm-based combat. Put it in a 2D hand-drawn world that blends Asian folklore with cyberpunk sci-fi. Add some Teopunk aesthetics, and you get 9 souls. This is a gem of rare precision. The parry system is the beating heart of the entire experience, and it requires surgical timing. Not close enough, not approximate, perfect, frame, perfect inputs that separate success from death. But when you nail it, when you enter that flow state where you're reading enemy movements and countering instinctively, it's magical. The satisfaction is immense. Every encounter becomes a conversation in violence. They attack, you respond, they adapt, you counter-adapt. The visual style is hand-drawn animation that's genuinely beautiful. Every frame is artwork. Every environment tells a story. The Teopunk aesthetic, mixing traditional Asian philosophy with dystopian technology, creates a world that feels unique. People should play this because it offers honest challenge wrapped in deep narrative and visuals that are moving artwork. It's an emotional journey that gives you nothing for free but rewards you massively when you learn to read opponent movements. With Ghost of Tsushima Sucker Punch created a world so beautiful, it's genuinely breathtaking. An open-world Tsushima island that feels alive. The wind literally guides you toward objectives instead of UI markers cluttering the screen. Leaves swirl and point the way. It's environmental storytelling at its finest. But Ghost of Tsushima isn't just a samurai game. It's a meditation on sacrifice and honor, on what you're willing to become to protect what you love, on whether the end justifies the means when your people are dying. Jin Sakai starts as an honorable samurai following the code. But as the Mongol invasion devastates his homeland, he's forced to embrace tactics that his culture considers dishonorable. Stealth, poison, striking from shadows, becoming the ghost. The combat is fluid, cinematic, and incredibly satisfying. Standoffs let you challenge enemies to duels where a single mistake means death. The clash of katanas has weight, parrying feels perfect, and as you unlock new techniques, the options expand beautifully. You can play as the honorable warrior, facing enemies head-on, or embrace the ghost tactics using fear and cunning. The game supports both playstyles and everything in between. You should play this because it's a totally immersive experience. From the sound of leaves rustling to sunlight reflecting off your katana, everything is designed to make you feel present. The photo mode alone could be its own game. What happens when you take the charisma and absolute madness of the Yakuza series and transplant it to 1860s Japan? You get like a drag Ishin, a concentrated blast of action, historical drama, and completely absurd minigames that somehow all work together. The strength of this title is its overflowing personality. You can fight using sword, pistol, or both simultaneously in a style that's pure spectacle. The combat is satisfying and varied. Different stances completely change your approach. It's not as deep as Nioh, but it's not trying to be. It's going for style and fun over technical mastery. But the real magic is everything surrounding the combat. Between major story missions, you can go fishing, manage a farm, play cards, get into street fights, romance side characters. The tonal whiplash is enormous and it's brilliant. One minute you're in the middle of serious political intrigue about the fall of the shogunate and the Meiji Restoration. The next you're grinding vegetables to make the perfect meal. Then you're back to dramatic betrayals and emotional confrontations. The friendship and betrayal at the heart of the story genuinely hit hard. The characters are memorable. The historical setting is fascinating even if liberties are taken for drama. And the sheer variety of content means you can play for dozens of hours and still find new things. So, there's your list. 10 games that capture different aspects of what makes Nioh special. Technical combat. Build depth. Player skill rewarded. Challenge that feels fair even when it's brutal. That's what Nioh delivers. That's what all these games understand. And that's why they're worth your time even if you can't grab Nioh 3 on day one. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment telling me which of these you've played, which you're planning to grab, and what other games you'd recommend for people who love technical combat. Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.